This man just said that women choose happiness over family and men choose family over happiness. But it's not so much that he said it, it was the tone of how he said it and what he said afterwards. It was almost like he thought he was doing something great by just being there. And his presence was worthy of some kind of praise just because he stuck around. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I hate to break it to you, but staying doesn't really count if you were also the one who brought all the bitterness into the home while you were there. Because just staying isn't an achievement, it's baseline. It's literally the bare minimum because you were supposed to be there. You're supposed to be with the woman that you chose and the kids that you created. That's what responsible adults do. And no one gets an award for being a responsible adult. So, okay, you stayed. You chose your family over your happiness, but what your family experienced wasn't your presence. It was all of the bitterness that you brought into the home. It was the resentful energy that you carried around with you while you were there. And bitterness has a way of filling up a room. It shows up in every sigh that you make, in your short clipped responses, in the way that everything feels like an inconvenience for you, in the constant reminder of what you think you gave up or what you quote unquote sacrifice, what you had to do. So now you got your children who aren't just growing up, but they're also navigating around your resentment. They learned how to read a room before they learned how to speak. And then you have your wife who hesitates before she asks you for anything. Your family is literally shrinking themselves to avoid becoming too much for you. And I hate to break it to you, my guy, but that's not stability. That's your family trying to survive your bitter resentment because you stayed when you could have just took your unhappy ass somewhere else. Because when you're bitter, whatever you consider to be love starts to feel very conditional. And not because you said something out loud, but because it's felt. It was felt in the tension that you carried with you throughout the house. It's felt in the distance that you have with your partner. It's felt in the way your kids' needs were treated like burdens on an already heavy plate. And I completely understand that life is going to hand you things that you don't plan for. And parenting and being in a relationship, it's sometimes going to stretch you in a lot of ways that you didn't expect. But it's not your family's job to just absorb all of your bullshit. They didn't choose for you to force yourself to be put in this circumstance. You expect to come home to people who grow and cultivate peace for you in the dirty, dry soil that you gave them. So no, you just being present doesn't earn you some type of praise or kudos because you can stay and still be emotionally unavailable. You can stay and still create heartache in the home. You can stay and still make home feel like a place where everybody has to tiptoe around your emotions so that they don't set you off. It's not about you staying. What matters is how you showed up while you stayed. Was your presence something steady for your family, or did you make everything heavy? Because your family isn't going to just remember that you were there. They're not going to just remember that you stayed. They're going to remember what it felt like while you were there.